Cat here, and I just wanted to quickly talk about Atlas stuff, how I've decided to set up my Atlas this league, and just the process that I went through, which might be helpful for some other people who've just been really slow setting up the Atlas. Because I've just been super busy re-rolling random builds, whatever. Why is people linking me gulls? Okay, he's just linking me because he has a gull. And because I've been really ill, chest infection, if you didn't know, voice only just sort of starting to come back. Trying not to ramble, stream will be back in a couple of days. Anyway, because of all of that, I've been re-rolling a lot, doing random things, and I've done very little of my own actual Atlas, which I'll get into. I've probably only done what I would personally consider like 2 days of actual mapping on my friend Kane's Atlas. Kane, by the way, haha, I know. Although I've done quite a lot of what I would call like Reddit-wise, I've played a lot this league. Tarke-wise, I've probably only played for like 5 days. Anyway. So because I'm approaching Atlas progression so late into the league now, because I've had a chance to really look at what everyone else is doing, and because I've had a chance to have everyone else's sort of resources, I've come up with my own approach that I'm going for, and also just want to quickly show you my hideout. I don't think it's that fancy, but a lot of people really like it. It's just kind of like, ooh, spooky.
At your service.
At your service, indeed. But anyway, I just like this glowy area. It's, anyway, work in prog. Now, when I'm playing Namahu's, but anyway, getting distracted. So, what is the setup I'm going for? The setup I'm going for, and you can't actually see display capture. There you can. Now you can't. Now you can. So this is the setup that I'm going for, and I'll explain why I've come to these conclusions. Also, big point on the tier 14 waste pool instead of Vault. I'll get into that. So for anyone who doesn't know how Atlas works this league, so when you start doing your maps, as me, for example, someone who's done very little actual mapping on their own Atlas, you start doing your own little tier 1s and whatever. You start doing these little things, and then eventually Elder turns up. And when Elder is on your Atlas, you get this like starry rubbish all over your map. And then once you do some more Elder maps, you know, getting closer to the yellows, start getting those like tier 8, 7s down, then this tentacle fella appears, and then he starts spreading his taint all over the place. Now, at some point, when you start shaping your maps, you can see I've shaped, you know, some early, you know, stuff. Tier 1 to 3 has been shaped. Elder himself starts popping up. And I'm actually slightly screwed here, because Elder's popped up while I'm still mid-progression. And I have his Guardians on Underground River, which I haven't done yet. Geode, which I haven't done yet. Oh, and Vault, by the way, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to have to clear these, which means Tarke's going to have to do some very scary yellow bosses. I'll be fine, it's Namahu's. But it's just annoying that it happened before I actually got them completed. That's a bit of a weird thing. I think that might be a bit of a block for people, especially on SSF. The fact that it seems, at least, I'm still, like, learning the system, as many of us are, so if I say anything wrong, please do correct me in the comments. But it seems if you don't have that much control early on where his Guardians first turn up, and I've had a lot of people I've been watching recently while I've been sick. I've been watching a lot of Uber, Carve, and Rise, and there seems to be complaints about like Elder not doing what you want it to do and trying to push it into the right place. But in all of this, we have Waste Pool. Now, currently, Waste Pool seems to just be like Palmer. Feels good, man. I don't know if it's because it's like right between Shaper Elder, but if I do Waste Pool, well, Elder controls it, and Shaper takes it over. And then I clear it, and then Elder takes over. And I've had just like Palmer Waste Pool in tier 9, which has been pretty cool. So, that is basic thingamajiggy. So now, why have I chosen to do these, and how have I picked these particular maps? So, anyone who watched my video on Pee-wee People I Peep At, there's a guy called Grim who made a very handy Google Doc. I'll leave a link down below, and also check out his channel. Really cool guide, lots of very useful guides. And I have some hot lemon. Oh, that was too hot lemon. Ow, burnt my tongue. So he's got this very helpful spreadsheet where he's listed all of the maps in all of the tiers and the number of sextants which touch each map. Now, this doesn't mean that you just pick the one with the most sextants. Because, for anyone who knows how sextant blocking works, and if you don't know how sextant blocking works, I'm just going to give a link to this very handy guide. So, let's say that you want to do Vault, because everyone's like, yo, homie, Vault is amazing. So type in Vault here, and we go, oh, Vault, click on Vault, boom, okay. This is Vault itself. These green maps directly touch Vault. So any sextants on these green maps, when we run the Vault map itself, will be affected by all of these. Okay, seems good. These yellows or oranges, these are too far away, so they're not in range of Vault. So these won't affect Vault, but they will affect these greens. What this means is, and the same for the reds will affect the orange, which will then affect that, right? But what it means is on these outer rings, so the orange and the reds, we put shit we don't want there. And if we put stuff on the reds, all the bad mods, stuff which we don't like running because they either don't add monsters or they add very dangerous things. For example, the physical sextant adds lots of mobs with proximity shields, very rippy for hardcore. So a lot of hardcore players ignore those kind of mods. Put the bad mods on the outer rims, the good mods on the inner rims, and it means that when you go to sex on your maps, it costs you far less because you're having to reroll less. So, if we were just to do the top line of all of these, we'd be in the case where there'd be some overlap. So for example, you can see here we have a toll, and a tolls actually would mess with this. So if we just picked, oh, we want to do a toll because it's got the most things on it in tier 6, but we also want to do the same thing with Vault, we can't block both Vault and a toll, because a toll is part of our Vault block, okay? So for a toll, if you wanted to block out a toll, what you would do is you would then, again, same process, you want the good mods on these greens, and obviously the mod on the toll itself, then the bad mods on the orange, and then the bad mods on the red. So you need to make sure that the maps that you're choosing to pick aren't just good maps themselves, but they also have natural, like, synergy with the rest of your options, okay? That's why with most people, you'll see they've purposely positioned their map so they're kind of loosely spread. So, for example, I'm going to do Gorge and Waste Pool instead of Vault. So most people do Strand for their tier 9, and then they do Vault for their tier 14. Right? Now, Gorge is here. Gorge is part of the Vault block. So obviously we couldn't do both Gorge and Vault because they'd mess with each other. While Strand is over here. So if you wanted to block Strand, you could. You probably wouldn't, but just theoretically, if you wanted to, it'd be fine for Vault, okay? Just whatever. Right. The reason why I've chosen to do Waste Pool over Vault is in hardcore, currently, Exalts aren't worth very much at all. They're like 30C. That's it. Comb's Roots, however, currently sell for, I haven't actually checked the price today. Comb's Roots. Comb's Roots are the 200 HP boots, always in very high demand. Uncorrupted Comb's Roots are 17C. And the Comb's Roots cards drop in Waste Pool. And they're a lot more common than Exalts. Also, Waste Pool is a very nice, very linear map. And I'm playing Namahu Cyclone. So I have a map which is better suited to my build. Profit-wise is about the same, potentially better than Vault in the short term anyway. Obviously, this is a hardcore versus softcore thing, and this changes over time. And not only that, Waste Pool is substantially more experienced than Vault. And for the fact that it has perfect synergy with my build, it makes it a little bit more interesting because I did a lot of Vault farming last league. And it's currently, like, decent money. This is a smart thing for me to do. Right. So, when you go through this list, kind of think what suits your build, what suits your playstyle. And again, just because you don't want to do the same old boring shape strat doesn't mean that you need to just completely throw everything out of the window. Just adapt to what you like. So, I love Gorge, right? Gorge is like one of my favorite maps. I just really like Gorge. Really nice, really clean, really linear. So, you can see that if I was to block Gorge for my tier 9, you go, okay, well, it's coming up to the reds. Will this interfere toward my waste ball? No. And in fact, they actually share some of the same blocks. You see these yellows and reds here, which I have to block for my waste ball. Those are the same yellows and reds which don't reach Gorge. So this actually makes blocking these two cheaper in the short term, because these bad mods here, it's kind of like I'm having to block less maps in general. Does that make sense? Because I'm sort of splitting the block between these two maps that I'm doing. Makes sense, right? So beach, alleyways, port, these are just 3 layouts that I like. I would probably never really run these very much, other than just like new characters. I wouldn't block these. These would just be like 3 maps I would maybe do for new characters, or I would vendor up. If you don't know, you can vendor 3 shaped maps and you'll get back the shaped map 1 tier higher. So I could, for example, in here, for tier 10, there's nothing I really want to do, and running channel, which is what some people are doing, messes with the setup I want to go for. So what I'm actually going to do with my tier 10s is I'll either sell shaped channels if they sell well, or I'll vendor them into fields, right? And again, fields, which is what I'm going to do for my 11. You can see it's here, so okay, seems pretty chill, right? And then the next thing would be Dunes is down here now. I'll just show you all the stuff and show you it doesn't mess with each other. So Dunes is safe down here, doesn't interfere with my waste ball. And then Infested Valley is here, and Infested Valley is safe from my fields block. See that? So they don't mess with each other. And you can't really put much on Infested Valley anyway, but you kind of get what I'm saying. So basically what I've done is I've just picked layouts that I like. There's some like synergy here with the Jungle Valley spider lair, right? This is some like a little bit of synergy. I'm not cramping my style anywhere on the Atlas. Get to do things, you know, a little bit more different. And yeah, Dunes, I won't be Sextant blocking. I'll just be running Dunes, and that'll just be like my filler. Like just whatever. We've got a bunch of these. Let's just run them. Save the Sextants for the good stuff, and I'm good to go. Links to all of these resources will be down below. I'm also planning on doing a Bayclast on the 6th of January, which will be a Saturday. I should hopefully be better by then. And it's going to be an episode focused all around Atlas. We've like briefly touched on Atlas, but you know, it's still kind of like early days. This is going to be like the heavy criticism and praising of the new Atlas system, what we all feel about the new Atlas system, that we've all kind of had a bit more time to explore it. And I'm going to be asking a few of the SSF gods, some of the true Atlas boyos, to come guest. So that should be cool as well. And we'll have some people who actually know what they're talking about for once, you know, rather than just me and Rise baby raging while Ziggy sits there looking cute and Cute Dog makes the odd meme in chat. So yeah, we'll have people who know what they're talking about. Bayclast on the 6th. My voice is going now. I'm Tarke. Namahoos, by the way. Also Nin. Nin very kindly gave me a donation. I used that donation to upgrade my supporter pack and pocket some money towards bills. I have a really cool cape now. I hope everyone's having a merry holidays. Have a good one. Bye-bye.